The first college football playoff ranking came out earlier this week, and there's a lot of teams that are still in the playoff race, teams that aren't even in the top 25 that you don't realize. Just because a team can't be top 12 in the college football playoff rankings does not mean they can't make the college football playoff, because we know there are automatic qualifiers. If you win the conference, you must have at least 4 conference champions. So if there's a lot of SEC teams and Big Ten teams in the top 10, and let's say, hey, there's no ACC teams in the top 12, then the winner of the ACC is going to be in the playoffs, because we need at least 4 conference champions. So that means Virginia has a chance, Georgia Tech has a chance, Louisville only has 1 loss in the conference, Pittsburgh, SMU, and Duke, they all only have 1 loss in the conference, which means they can make the conference championship game and they can win the conference. Even Duke, who has a 5-3 record, if they finish a 3-loss team, can make the college football playoff. Now looking at the Big 12, same thing. BYU is undefeated right now. Texas Tech, Cincinnati, they each have 1 loss in the conference. Houston, Utah, Arizona State, TCU, if the right scenario happens, they could make the conference championship game, because other teams losing in the conference, like let's say Texas Tech picks up another loss, then and Cincinnati also picks up another loss, there's going to be a 2-loss team in the conference championship game, which means they could win the conference championship and they will have to make the playoffs, because we have to have at least 4 conference champions. They get the top 4 seeds. That's how the college football playoff format is. In the Big Ten, Indiana, Ohio State are undefeated in conference play. Then we have Michigan, Oregon, Iowa, USC with 1 loss each. Now a team who can make the college football playoff as an at-large bid is Washington. Washington is 6-2 right now. If they win out, they might not be in the Big Ten championship game, as they already picked up a loss to Ohio State and another loss later in the year, but they can still make it as the 12th seed or the 11th seed. I don't know how the rest of the season is going to play out. Next is the Independents, Notre Dame. After their first 2 losses, a lot of people were ruling them out, but people like myself realized that if they win out, they would be 10-2, which is, yeah, you kind of have to put a 10-2 Notre Dame in the playoffs. So Notre Dame is still alive. Now from the SEC, you have Texas A&M and Alabama, who are undefeated in SEC play. Then you have Georgia, Ole Miss, and Texas with 1 loss in the conference each. Texas being 7-2. Now that 1 loss out of conference was to Ohio State. Their other loss was on the road to Florida. So Texas can have the resume. They're going to have some tough games. If they beat Texas A&M, that is going to greatly boost their resume. So there, you can look at Texas being a playoff team if they win out. If they win out, they might even be in the conference championship game, in which if they lose, are you going to put a 10-3 Texas in the college football playoff? I'm not against. I think they're a good enough team. Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Missouri each have 2 losses in SEC play. Again, if any of these teams win out, they're going to be in the conference championship, so they realistically have a shot at making the college football playoff. Is it likely? Not necessarily, especially for Missouri, who was not favored by the college football playoff ranking. Now looking at the group of 5 at-large bid. So there's got to be at least 1 group of 5 team in this playoff, and we're expecting it to, be a 12 seed. There's not going to be a group of 5 team who is ranked in the top 11 legitimately. So we're talking about the group of 5 at-large bid, which almost certainly no conference winner will be a top 4 seed this year, let alone a top 3 seed like Boise State was in 2024. So coming out of the American, the team with the strongest resume is South Florida. They're the only team with multiple top 25 wins. However, they have a loss to Miami, which is aging bad, and they just lost to Memphis. So naturally, Memphis will be the top candidate, as I really think the winner of the American is the team representing the group of 5 this year. UNLV lost 2 games in a row, so they're out. James Madison is on a 6-game win streak, but they're not even a top 70 team in my opinion, despite having the 27th most votes in the AP poll. Yet, San Diego State, that defense is terrorizing the Mountain West. They have 3 shutouts, which is the most in FBS, I'm pretty sure, and they're also on a 6-game win streak. In my opinion, they're the best group of 5 team and are so much better now than they were when they lost at Washington State. Wins over Hawaii, Boise State, and New Mexico will be a hard task, but if the Aztecs win out and win the conference, I think they have a chance at making the playoffs. They already have the 30th most votes in the AP poll too. The only other teams that might get in are North Texas, Navy, who just lost to the Mean Green, Tulane, and maybe East Carolina. But they would all have to win out and win the American for that to happen. If you want to check out my rankings of the top 80 teams in college football, you can look in the description. Those are based on how good a team is, not their resume, not their strength of opponent or anything like that. Those are just purely based on talent and skill. You can check that out. Let me know who you think is going to make the college football playoff. Thank you for watching. See you next week.